Hi there everyone, and welcome to this High Street Baptist Church Worship at Home All Age Talk. A couple of weeks ago now, Ruth set us a challenge of finding God in the everyday and the ordinary. Finding God in ordinary things around the house, things that might remind us of God's character or a story from the Bible. And today I want to continue along that theme and challenge and share with you one such time where I was reminded of God's great love for us. The other day, Ruth and I were having a roast. I absolutely love roasts. Roast lamb is my favourite, with plenty of roast potatoes, roast parsnips, vegetables, and of course lashings of gravy and mint sauce. I'll put mint sauce on any roast personally. And the other day I finished my roast, and as I sometimes do, I then go out into the kitchen and get a slice of bread to mop up all the excess gravy with, so my plate is clean. And as I did this the other day, I was reminded of the meal that Jesus shared with his disciples before he laid down his life for us. That meal in which where Jesus said, taking a piece of bread, he said, "This is my body broken for you." And at the table there was some wine as well, and he took the wine and said, "This is my blood poured out for you for the forgiveness of sins." And what Jesus was pointing to in these two symbols, what he was signifying, was that he would go and lay down his life for us. You see, as human people, we sin. We live in a fallen world, and we do things that go against God and his righteousness and his holiness and his commands for us. And those sins, well, they taint us. And we by ourselves cannot pay the price of them. But Jesus came, he lived, and he laid down his life, taking the punishment of the sins of the world, so that we may have a relationship with God. And if you think of our life as that plate, that roast dinner plate that still has gravy on it and residue from all the meat and potatoes and that, Jesus is the bread, and he well soaks up all those things, wipes the plate clean, wipes our lives clean, so that we may have a relationship with God. Jesus took the punishment, sacrificed himself, so that we may come into the presence of God and experience his love in our lives now and forevermore. He makes us clean from sin and darkness. And that's what the bread does. When I was mopping up the gravy, it cleaned, it cleansed. And every time I do this, that's what I'll be reminded of. Jesus' great love for us, his sacrifice for us, so that we may know and experience God's love in our lives. So then, bread, an ordinary and everyday item that we have around the house, reminds me, and maybe today might remind you, of Jesus' death, his resurrection, of his life, his love for you. Also reminds me of the familiar words in John 3:16. "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." Finding God in the everyday and the ordinary. Where do you find God, I wonder?